Hello, fellow compatriots. This is your host, Tribuchan here. And I ask you this question. What do you see? This is the same question that I would always ask my apprentices that I have been working with for quite a while now. What do they see throughout all this? Now, of course, not all the examples were precise. Some of them were varied. But I think that what we have here is a good sum and representation. Some may say, it looks like a bunch of robots, which is a valid answer. Some might say that the building system evolved and you get to see its evolution over a decade or so, and that would also be correct. You can also look at it at a Marcus perspective. Look at all the new elements, the new unique specified parts that can allow for a diverse selection of building and customization, of which Bionicle did introduce throughout the course of history. Always introducing a new element and part every single year. But I'm not here to talk about Bionicle, but rather what construction itself had to offer. Now, it's taken me a very long time to figure this out. It has taken me a very long time. You know, anybody can make a set. That's true. Anybody can make a set if they put their mind to it. Anyone can go ahead and make their own custom selection of parts and make a figure. 3D printing has had like a great plethora of examples that people have done. Even some are started to do injection molding, which also has been promising. But there's one key aspect that I believe is missing. Sure, you get new parts, new elements. But, as you may see, we start off with parts that linger for a little bit until they disperse, they change, they evolve. But never does the same part linger. The only part, if you may have noticed, that tends to linger, and though it can be a few parts, you can say that a few parts do linger. And that is the sockets, the axles, the pins. Those are the ones that tend to linger. Even some voodoo balls, but even then, the voodoo balls start to disappear as soon as the Inika come along. And the voodoo balls basically become the double-sided holes. But I figured out, after all this time, one of the key aspects of making buildable figures. Believe me, I have done a lot of designing, a lot, and as I am talking, I will go ahead and showcase a few things that I have, several prototypes, rough concepts of ideas that I was thinking about doing, going through and going over and over and over and over when it came to ascending depths. But each and every single part that I would design fell into this trap that you see here. Even though you see a whole bunch of cool designs, again and again and again, it's a trap. It's a trap. You can't keep coming out with the same mask every single year. You had to change it. You can't keep coming out with the same type of head every single year. You need to change it. You can't keep the same type of arms every single year. You might have to change it. But if they have a way to recycle old elements such as the Gurak staff or Kopaka, then they will do it. But that's just one part out of like a 81 part set. Matter of fact, how many pieces does Gurak have? Gurak, 45 pieces, and out of 45, you can only really use one. Sure, you can use the sockets and axles and so forth, and that will reduce the number a little bit, but it's still 45 pieces. This is the big struggle LEGO had when it came to construction, because as much money as they kept putting into it, you know, they hardly got that much back, but they still had enough comeback when it came to making these sets that they were able to make this theme last as long as it did when it came to construction. And that goes for Oldings construction. Now, when it comes to the tailored reconstructable intuitive building system, also known as TREBS, it is going to be going through another revision thanks to the new philosophy that I have devised when it comes to this new building system. Now, not only will you be able to go ahead and build whatever you want, essentially, it is that abstract, yet also hyper detailed at the same time. You'll get plenty of greeble, just like the Bionicle at old, but you have a plethora of diverse ability when it comes to these types of builds. You'll be able to do all sorts of things. Not only that, but you are also going to be able to make things as small as you want or as big as you want. There is no sizing or scale that will be difficult or impossible because of how flexible this building system is. Which means you could probably make a very big figure, because I know some people out there really like some very big characters or creatures, even vehicles. You might even be able to make vehicles out of this building system. It's just gonna have to wait and see when it comes to the designs that I devise with this new building system. But I guarantee it is gonna be a refresher. Because when it comes to building custom figures, building a Bionicle MOC in general, or just any type of MOC, you are essentially limited in, oh man, this part only comes in so many colors, or man, it's hard to build this particular build because I need this one specific part and it cannot be replicated any other way. With this new building system, you do not have that hindrance. You can also go for any type of aesthetic you want. This new building system is going to be heavily greebleized, so you're going to be seeing all your pistons, all your greeble, the rough textures, and also smooth plates and everything else. You know, so you can have different styles and how you want to go ahead and build these new characters. And they will be reflected in the sets themselves, which is going to be very awesome and very refreshing. Now, there are some elements that I will keep that I have made in the past when it came to working on Ascending Depths ever since December of 2020. Like, some of those designs are going to still like bleed through. Maybe even Terex's hands. Because I really wanted to... I have a few ideas that I wanted to do with Terex's hand. So hopefully with the new building system that I go ahead and devise, we might be able to do just that. As for this set over here, it also fell under the same trap. But because I put a lot of time into this design. A lot. And the early prototyping stages and trying to make a buildable figure. All my backers will get their very own Terex. Now, this is the clay model. This isn't the final version. But as you can see already, there's a lot more detail in this than you would find over in the original. I know movable job, but you do get a lot of nice detailing and prints and so forth. There will be a lot of clear parts, clear elements. This will be an injection molded action figure. An action figure with compatible building elements. So they will have axles, ball and socket connections, just so that you can go ahead and repurpose the body for whatever you want, and it will still retain the throwing function as was planned for the original Terex, as you see here, but it's a little bit more refined, considering the design of the arms now. And it will still be ball and socket connection. But even when it comes to ball and socket, like Hero Factory or the Star Wars or frickin' Bionicle G2, you know, there was a few limitations. Sure, some people didn't like G2 because of the CCBS, but I think CCBS was one of its strengths. And I still do to this day. But at the same time, CCBS is also a little bit of a trap. Because the bones can only be bones. The shells can only be shells. Everything is limited. To an extent, it has a limit. Which is why the Lego brick lasts so long as it does. Even to this day, the Lego brick keeps coming back again and again and again and again. So, going forward, all my backers will get their very own Terex, and right now I have a resin model being produced. And at the time of working on this video, I was going to be doing a behind the scenes showcasing how I built this figure and made the resin model, but I will save that for another video because it is a long video. It's several days worth of footage and it is very long. It's a very long video, unfortunately. And if you're wondering how tall this little guy is, let's go ahead and measure him real quick. So the original Terex was about 6 1/4 inches tall, centimeter measurement up 1/4, and the new Terex stands about 4 1/4 inches tall, and the centimeter measurement will be up 1/4. But yeah, now I have designed a part that follows through with the philosophy that I have came up with. But again, it is also limited, and I will go ahead and showcase that right now. Now, it may not be pretty, but that's usually the case when it comes to prototypes. But this is a prototype I work on. I had to realign it because I was off slightly. Some of the claws are off, but as you can see, it looks like a foot. And you'll be right, it is a foot. But it also can be a leg. It can be a leg, an arm, a foot. And this is basically the first step in my figures when it comes to the elements. Which is something that a mockist would typically try to do, is try to look at a part. Some mockists like to look for one part and use that as the center the canvas to build the rest of the build. Others might look at different color combinations and so forth. But we're always attracted to one key aspect, is shaping and texture. This is one of the two main things that is the base of all of our decision making when it comes to mocks in general. And I'm applying that with this building system. Now, of course, this is only a rough draft. And this was originally designed for Mark IV of Terex. First runs of Terex will go immediately to backers. And then after a while, and they will get the exclusive purple redeco, the purple and gunmetal deco. That will be the ones they'll be getting. And then out in the public will be the blue version blue, which is going to be blue and white. Hence the name Tributron Blue and White. But yeah. So that is basically what I'll have in store for you all. Also, at the same time as the production is going for Terex mass production, I'm also going to start doing Project Iron Tribe. Project Iron Tribe is where I'm going to be cleaning my own city, literally and figuratively. All the waste that is basically in litter that gets disposed all over my city will be cleaned up and repurposed for the toy line. And I'll be sure to post any vlog videos and so forth if you guys are interested in watching that. But anyways, that is it for now, and I hope you all enjoy. And like always, happy building and play well!